Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in as always. Truly appreciating you all tuning in. And today is a great day because um, I am now seeing houses hit the market that are at a decent value and only getting better. I'm seeing 15,000, $50,000 price cuts hitting the market now that interest rates have hit 7.5%. Now we all know that we're not trying to buy at 7.5%. If you watch this channel, then you already know that I'm interested in assumable loans because that is going to allow me to buy houses with a little bit more cash for a nice interest rate. Who would sell a house with an assumable loan? That's a great question. Well, people who are looking to get into a bigger home, people who are looking to either downsize, people who can no longer afford it, people who are traveling to a new place, country, city, or state. There's so many reasons. And also, what we just talked about earlier was that people are now about to get student loans again back in October. So those who can't simply afford their home are also going to result to that as well. All right. So assumable loans is a great strategy that nobody talks about. So if you never had an FHA loan, or if you were a veteran and you have a VA loan that you haven't used, you can use assumable loan strategies in order to purchase housing at a interest rate that was at pandemic level, and that's going to help you to save a ton of money. Right now, the average house costs about $460,000. If you can get an assumable loan, you're going to save yourself $1,000 a month. And so, if anybody asks you why are you buying housing in this market, is because you're smart and you're using a different loan strategy than everybody else. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Now, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe because you know that you're going to be more informed than anybody else in your community, anybody else in your friend group, because you're getting the information that nobody else is getting. You're getting the information that a lot of people fail to tell you about. Now, I'm telling you, I'm the only one who talks about assumable loans. And the reason why I bring this up again is because the more I talk about it, the more people are going to Google it, the more people are going to do research, the more people are going to look at this as a great investment strategy. Another thing that I want to talk about is even if you don't have an FHA loan because you've already used it, even if you're not a veteran and you don't have a VA loan, well, guess what? There's still other ways to cut costs. One, you shop around for the best lender with the best rate. Okay, now that you shopped around for the best rate, you also want to shop around for the best closing cost, right? Some lenders may have a better rate, but their closing costs are going to be so high that you're paying more for the same loan that you can get elsewhere. All right? So you want to shop around for the best rate. You want to shop around for the best closing cost. When you find that, typically you want to look for the best closing cost and then decrease the rate, which will increase your closing cost, but it will still be cheaper than had you went with the other lender. Another thing that you want to do is see if you can get the seller to discount the home. Like I just said, houses are dropping about 15 to $50,000, and in some markets like San Francisco or even New York City, you're going to see drops of $50,000 to $100,000 on a property. So this is really good because let's face it, in order to refinance your property and have 20% equity, it's going to take you about 6 to 7 years, right? In that time, interest rates may be around 5 or 4%. So when you refinance 6 to 7 years from now, not only would you have had a property with maybe $200,000 more equity because you bought now, but you're also going to be able to refinance to an interest rate that's about 2.5% less. I'm pretty sure every single real estate agent who's watching this video is super excited to have me say this. You all should share this video with any potential home buyer so that they can understand the value cost of money. Now, this strategy only works if you plan to stay in the home for at least 6 to 7 years so that you can refinance, because you won't be able to refinance in just 1 or 2 years unless interest rates go drastically down and the prices go drastically up. right? It's going to take you at least 6 to 7 good years, especially at 7.5%, right? But we're not going to buy at 7.5%. If it's 7.5% right now, that means you can potentially buy at 7% if you follow the strategies that I did, which means shopping around, finding the right lenders, so and so and so and so, right? So again, we're taking advantage of the market. Right now, I have an agent looking at a deal for me to check if it's an assumable loan so that I can potentially purchase this home for pennies on a dollar, not knowing that instead of a 7.5% interest rate, I may be able to purchase this at a 3% interest rate. Now I am going to be cash flowing like crazy. Now I am going to be making so much bank, right? It's going to cost me a pretty penny in terms of upfront cash, but I'm definitely willing to do that for a long term asset. So that's something that I wanted to talk about with you all. I might actually be viewing this property today, depending on the information that my agent gives me um, in the coming hours. So again, this is something that I'm looking at. The trend that I'm seeing is housing prices are crashing, which is great for assumable loan people because what that means is when I go to purchase the home, it's going to cost me less cash to buy the home. You're going to have to do some research on assumable loans so that I don't have to break it down the nitty and gritty in one video. But again, this is just for all of you to understand that, hey, prices are going down. 2024 is going to be even better because interest rates are going to go down as well, and the prices are going to stay relatively low as well. What you want to do is you want to catch it. You want to catch housing when the prices are going down as well as when the interest rates are going down. You know why? Because as soon as interest rates start to drop, there are going to be more sellers in the market. There are going to be more people trying to sell their home. And they're also going to be incentivized to buy because they're selling their property, because the interest rates are lower. So we're going to have more activity all over the place. And so we'll see a lot more action as soon as interest rates drop, especially with housing prices dropping as well. So people will have less equity and people will have more houses on the market. There'll be a lot more demand. I do not see demand cooling down. I see people are going to want to get right back into the thick of things and get their own house, right? If you haven't had a house and you've been hearing about the rush in housing for the last 3 years, of course, in 2024 it will be no different. Everybody's going to want a house unless they start to hear some bad news from the news and the media about housing and why they should rent. But the consensus I've been seeing is that everybody wants the American dream. And so if everybody wants the American dream, then it's a nice house with a white picket fence. And if that doesn't change, because everybody is symbolic of freedom, if that doesn't change, that means the demand is always going to be high. Because if unless the narrative of housing changes, people are going to always want and continue to want to try and own a home. And so that will continue to stimulate the economy for days on end, months on end, years on end. And with that 30-year mortgage, that American dream is almost impossible for the average American. But if you're watching this channel, you'll know that you'll actually be able to own the home that you live in if you're staying in tune with me. Now, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.